Oh, hello, and welcome to our home for this Christmas evening. We just saw The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. So it is the hottest talked about movie for probably the past few years since Disney's announced that they are making it. And I can safely say that I really enjoyed it. And it was definitely better than the prequels. Definitely.
Well, at this point, anything would be better than the prequels.
Unfortunately.
I don't like sand.
I don't like sand.
It's rough.
No.
Anyway, so, yeah, it's really good. Should we say what the story is, or...?
Well, they do have a synopsis of it online and on Fandango and everything.
Okay, so here's...
So, just to avoid too much spoilers.
Okay, we're going to talk about spoilers much later in this review, but we're going to hold on until... We'll let you know when spoilers are coming up, so...
Yeah.
Okay, here's the synopsis. Luke has vanished. Well, first of all, it takes place 20 years... 30 years? 20 years?
I believe it's 30 years later.
Okay, 30 years after the events of Jedi, Luke has vanished because a new Sith is in town, and it's Kylo Ren. And he wants to kill Luke because he's the last of the Jedi, so it's up to, Finn and Rey, who cross paths, and they try to figure out how to stop Kylo Ren and figure out where Luke Skywalker is before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Force Awakens is very much like A New Hope, but at the same time it still has its own fresh energy, and these characters are very likable. I love Rey, I love Finn, and yeah, we get old classic characters back. And that's not a spoiler because, come on, that was in the trailer, so...
And I love Kylo Ren. I think he's a fantastic villain.
I was worried that he was going to be another Vader wannabe, like how... I don't... Like, some of the villains back in the prequels didn't do it for me, like...
Darth Maul was pretty much the only interesting villain. He was like the Boba Fett.
No, he wasn't interesting, he was just awesome, that was it.
He was like the Boba Fett of the prequels. Like, he was just really cool, and, like, everybody just remembered him.
Yeah, pretty much, and, Rey is very likable. I love Rey. She is a fascinating character. And here's another thing that I really, really love about this movie. The first 20 minutes of the film, it's like something out of Miyazaki or something. In fact, Miyazaki seems to be like a theme for this movie because the shots are so well done. It is a beautiful movie to look at.
It really is, because it shows, like... But what I love...
it's not forced like the prequels were, because there's, like, CGI all over where it's...
But what I love is that they show, like, they show these beautiful sceneries, and it really is a beautiful movie to look at. So kudos to J.J. Abrams for being able to pull that off. Then again, he did make the Star Trek movies, and those are really nice to look at, too.
Yeah, and, this movie really did feel like a Star Wars movie, which, thank God, because, yeah, we don't have politics in this one, which is gonna be weird because... Okay, I understand that this is the new Republic, like, the Republic has been established because, well, Return of the Jedi happened, and now the Rebellion has joined with the Empire, and now we're happily ever after, but now, it's the new Republic, and... what's the Resistance? Like, are they part of the Republic? Are they associated with it?
Like, I think what the thing is that it's like A New Hope, where it's like it doesn't explain too much, it just kind of establishes, like, what this basic story, what the basic trilogy is going to be about. Because, like, you don't really get too much character development here. You find out about the characters and you understand where the characters are coming from, their goals, their things that they want to do and achieve. We get all that here, like in A New Hope. Like, in A New Hope, we didn't know much about Leia, we didn't know much about Luke, we didn't know much about Han, but we
to be fair, they were still given their personalities.
No, that's like, what I'm getting the point at. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they're doing that, because I know that they're going to flesh them out with the trilogy as it goes along.
And some people complain that this is too much like A New Hope, and it's nothing original. I'm like, well...
That's a lie.
Well, they are true. It's still the same setup as A New Hope, but it's not like a insulting, shameless copy and paste like Home Alone 2 was to Home Alone 1, or shot-by-shot, frame-by-frame Psycho remake.
the way I see it, I feel like it's more of an homage to A New Hope.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it's trying to go for, is that this is a new story.
I agree. It felt like J.J. Abrams is saying, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you, or fans of the original Star Wars, but, you know, now that that's been tackled, they better get somewhere with the next episode. Like, okay, we are aware that this is the new Star Wars trilogy, so let's dive into the story. Let's get to the point. So,
and we're going to find out more. I just have a feeling that we are going to find out more, because like I said, A New Hope did have a lot more questions than it did have answers, and then by the second movie, they were finally getting to, you know, like, what this is going for.
Yeah, and, you know, it does end with a lot of questions, but then again, even the prequels left with questions unanswered. Like, who's this guy? How is this gonna work? And, well, that's what you do in a movie series. You just answer more questions while still continuing your own story. And that's what this movie does. It carries the story, it flows nicely. I love the first 20 minutes of the movie. It just felt so mystical.
Yeah, like,
oh, Star Wars, this is what made you awesome, and this is why I missed you so.
oh yeah, and I do have to say, I do love the characters that they've got here. They, you know, what makes it so great is that what made Star Wars great to begin with was not only a good story, but the great characters that went along with it. Everybody loves Leia, everybody loves Han, everybody loves Luke, everybody loves all these characters. They even love Boba Fett, and he doesn't have much to say.
Yeah, and like what you said, it's an homage, and the way they appear, it's like, don't worry, we're still here, and, you know, it's, aw, you know, those kind of moments, and it wasn't, like, forced or anything, so I'm glad they did that, so.
And they have, excuse me, they have some good tie-ins of, like, what is related to the older story, and also I love Finn's origin. Like, there's probably going to be much more to it, but I love how there is, like,
well,
the story.
His backstory's already been established, that he was like...
Yeah, but I mean more to it, because there is a lot more to this story than what's being told, is my point.
Oh yeah, and these characters do have backstories, but they were only told, and it's simple, but it's like, I kind of want to know more about it, and I hope they do this with the next one, so...
Which I'm sure they will. I mean,
oh, yeah.
It would be kind of dumb to just go like, oh, hey, you remember that backstory? Well, screw that. We're just going to start with something new.
We're going to go into politics.
Yeah, let's go into politics. Yay!
So, it's better than the prequels, duh. As you might have guessed. For anyone who looked at the reviews like Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff, it's as good as people say. And, is it a great movie? Like, if it's a great movie, that's kinda hard to call it, because I'm really picky when it comes to great movies per se. It's not terrible by any means, I'm not saying that, but it's fun. I had fun. I had fun watching these battles. I had fun watching these characters, and that's another thing. The chemistry between Finn and Rey are so good.
But then again, was A New Hope even really that fantastic of a Star Wars movie?
It had several holes within its own plot. It did have several inconsistencies, but then again, that's another thing. This movie is just so much like A New Hope, but it's not like copy and paste. It was the same.
What I mean to say is...
I'm not saying it's like bad, it's the same. It's the same because this is what made it good. Like, we're doing the same formula. Yeah, there are several things that don't make sense. Like, there's several head-scratcher moments, but my god, there's just so much good stuff about it, and that's another reason why I love Return of the Jedi, but... Again, back to Force Awakens.
My point is that really, when you think about Star Wars, it's just a big bundle. Like, it's like you can't just watch one Star Wars movie and just go like, okay, I'm good, I don't need to watch any more.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie, and...
It's a start, it's the beginning.
I do expect greatness out of Star Wars, but really when you get down to it, you gotta have fun with it. It's fun. It's family fun. And
I mean, for me, it's not a fantastic movie, but then again, it's like reading the first chapter of a book and then expecting it to be the best thing that you've ever experienced, and then you don't need to read the rest of the book. That's not how it works. There's the beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end, and that's true to the Star Wars trilogy. The original trilogy, at heart, is that there is a beginning, New Hope, there is a middle, and then there's an end.
Yeah,
and
I just hope it doesn't, like, do Home Alone 2 style, where it just copy and paste, like, exactly what Empire did, and then we're gonna do Return of the Jedi all over again, because there are several plot elements where many things could go wrong with it, but again, we'll get to spoilers when it comes to that, but still. And
I think it has potential to come up with its own original storyline.
yeah, and so far it is doing that, kinda, sorta, but
Well, I mean,
not to a point where it's like, oh, this is completely original. No.
The ending looks promising, is all I'm saying. The ending, where it's gonna go from the ending, looks promising.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. Beautiful ending, by the way, but again, spoilers, but...
No, we're not saying anything. Not
okay,
right now.
So... Another thing that really fascinated me is that, yes, the same premise as A New Hope, but it also had several elements of Empire and Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, spoilers, but if you watch it, you'll see what I mean. Like, it's basically all three movies just gathered together in just one big ball of awesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Force Awakens I really enjoyed.
I think it's a good movie, and if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, I think you'll genuinely enjoy it.
If there's any problems I do have with it, and there are a few, it's the last battle. In fact, all the battles in general. Like,
they weren't as exciting. They weren't like, oh god, look, like it's kind of like it just built up and then it just fizzled out.
well, look back on the final battle in A New Hope, where it's like you were really into this, and to be fair, Luke was a part of that, so you were really into it, and it had a lot of suspense. Now, the battle in Force Awakens, it had suspense too, but I just wasn't into it. And like, there's like little to no familiar characters. I mean, there's that one character that Finn like befriends, but he's like so minor. He's like, it's like if Wedge was the main focus in the original trilogy. If for all those who remember who Wedge was. Yeah, and that's, I don't know. It just didn't do enough for me as it should have.
Also, BB-8 is adorable.
Yeah, and for all those who think that BB-8 is just going to be, oh, he's just going to be another R2, he's
got more of a personality, actually. He's
actually more of a personality than R2 did in Revenge of the Sith, where in Revenge of the Sith, R2 burned 2 droids.
You're right. R2's like, it's kind of like Anna and Rapunzel. R2 is Rapunzel, and BB is Anna.
Yeah, just more personality, basically. And here's another thing. Yeah, C-3PO and R2 are in this, but again, it's not too distracting where it's like... It's an homage. Everything's just a big homage to the original trilogy, and it's like... I will say this, like, okay, JJ, we understand that this is an homage, but now that we have everything established, let's continue our story.
Oh yeah, no, like, the thing that I appreciate about it is that it didn't just bring back the old characters and just go like, let's just focus on them. It didn't pull a Walking Dead game.
No, I mean, this is new stuff. We're supposed to have new things, and yeah, our favorite characters are back, and it's nice to see them again, because, well, they were so enjoyable in the original trilogy, so.
There was a balance of new and old, but they focus more on the new, which I do appreciate, because it is a new trilogy, and you need to get established with the new characters.
True. So
yes.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. I liked it.
It's faithful to the original, but it brings along a new generation.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it.
That is how it could be summarized in one sentence.
Yes.
So that's Force Awakens, our thoughts without spoilers, and now we are going to go into actual spoilers.
Spoilers.
Okay.
Woo.
So, okay, fair warning for anyone who is watching this. We like this movie. It's really good. Go see it. You will not regret it. And yeah, that's about it. So if you want to find out what happens on your own, I suggest you click away or get away from this video right now, because okay, here goes spoilers. Oh my god. What doesn't happen in this movie? There's a cluster
oh
of...
my god.
This movie is a cluster of spoilers. Oh my god.
Like,
where do we begin with this?
Okay, so Rey I feel like this is my theory, and it's probably right, but I feel like Rey is probably Luke's daughter.
That's the main consensus, and I'll take it. Like,
it's believable. Like, she's so, like, for one thing, she's a Jedi, which, by the way, Luke and Leia are the last living Jedis alive.
Technically speaking, Leia isn't a Jedi. She's just strong with the Force.
She's just strong with the Force. But, like, Luke is the last living Jedi, and Rey is really strong with the Force. Like, so strong that she's actually able to, well, not perfect it, but she's able to learn that she has her abilities pretty early on in the film. Well, not early on, but probably midway through the film.
Yeah, and, you know, there is one scene where Rey touches, like, Luke's old lightsaber, and she has, like, a vision, or, like, a flashback-ish, per se, where she's, like...
Flashback epiphanies.
Yeah, basically.
Flashback epiphany, because she does see stuff that happens in the future, too.
Yeah, flashback epiphany of her being on her planet that she used to be a part of, and she was left behind by someone. So it has got to be Luke's daughter. In fact, I can't do another brother-sister revelation of, like, if Kylo Ren and Rey are brother and sister. I can't do that again. But
no,
we already did that with Luke and Leia.
Like, I could deal with cousins. Cousins I can live with.
Yeah, just make them cousins. That'd be perfect enough for me. And speaking of which, Kylo Ren is actually
Han Solo's and Leia's son.
Ben Solo, his name.
Solo.
Yeah. And what did you think of that revelation?
I was actually thrown off, because I thought, okay, maybe he's going to be Luke. Well, then again, it would be pretty freaking crazy if he was Luke, but I thought it was like, well, I think it was a pretty good way of tying in the original series, and the fact that he is strong with the Force, and he is, like, there's just so much to Kylo Ren that I like, and I just like everything I do.
Yeah, and I like the revelation too, and like I said, there is no build-up, but it does serve a purpose. It's not like a pointless revelation where it's like, oh, okay, and...
Yeah, it's just like, they just kind of drop the bomb just like right there, like just in the middle of the conversation, just casual conversation. It's like, no. Oh yeah, by the way, so Han Solo is his father,
and that's you know, that's another thing. This fixed the mistake that Empire Strikes Back did, and I understand that it was done for dramatic purposes, but it still doesn't make sense. For example, in Empire Strikes Back, when the Emperor tells Darth Vader, the son of Anakin Skywalker has returned, and Vader's like, that's impossible, and I'm like, you're the same guy, you realize that, right? I mean, I guess it's for drama, but can't you just call him that? Your own son destroyed the Death Star.
Even in Revenge of the Sith, he knew about his children's whereabouts, or knew that they existed. I think. I mean, yeah, he knew that they existed because freaking Padme was giving birth to them soon. She was in labor.
She told him about it, so...
Yeah, like, hey, by the way, BT Dubs, having twins, so...
I guess, and... Yeah, we are sorry. Han Solo dies. Yeah, there's one scene where Han tries to... Yeah, feels. And... I will say this... I kind of saw it coming, but I was in denial.
Like, no, you don't want to acknowledge that it's going to happen.
Yeah, because Han Solo is such a likable character, and I don't want to see him go. It was the same thing in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they keep building up, the impact of Gwen Stacy dying, but you don't want to see her die. And it's the same thing. Han Solo is just such a likable character, and even then, what they do with his character... It is still Han Solo, and this is how an elder Han Solo would act, and...
Like, what I loved is that instead of being, like, afraid of the dark side like Anakin was, he's more... Well, and Luke and Anakin were afraid of the dark side. He's more afraid of the light side. He's afraid of embracing the light side.
In fact, that's what makes Kylo Ren's character so amazing, is that Kylo Ren, he has, like, one... firm foot in the dark side, but he's trying to get to the dark side. In fact, when he kills Han, it's like, he's like, oh yes, I don't have to live with that now, and And
because and what I love is the line where he says, "Please ease me of this pain."
yeah,
Where he's not talking about the dark side, he's talking about the light side, and the fact that when he sees his father...
and he thinks that killing Han is going to make him feel better, like that
Yeah,
he doesn't have
like...
to live with the fact that his father's going to feel guilty of it, and of course this is probably going to have a big impact on him later on, and
God, I hope so.
yeah, which makes me think, I predict that I could be wrong on so many levels with this, but I think Finn is going to be the next Han Solo.
Yeah, I think so,
like
too.
the next hotshot, and you know, it's called character development because he's kind of a...
Well, it's kind of funny because Rey is kind of the hotshot and Finn's kind of Luke. Because, like, think about it, Finn has, like, a very good sense of right and wrong.
Well, Rey is not, like, a hotshot per se. She's
just a bit more rough around the edges, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and Finn is just, you know, he's a little insecure guy. He's trying to, you know, move along with his environment with, you know, because he used to be part of the First Order, but now he's not, and now he's changed his ways, and now he's a good guy. And Rey is just, she's trying to learn too, but, you know, she's just very curious about, like, how all this is working, and she's still a badass character, I'll give you that, but...
She's a bit more in control of her life than Finn. Like Finn... He had, like, the stormtrooper life. Like, he was probably not taught, but he was probably treated better and, like, had better things than Rey did. Well, Rey had to scavenge and scourge for all of her food.
Yeah, so... And... About the ending. They find Luke Skywalker. And might I just say, his cameo at the end is amazing. Like the shots. The shots are like building up to... And I remember watching this in theater. Everyone was just getting so excited for this. Like, oh my god, this is Luke. We're finally going to see him. And Rey is walking up the stairs up to the top of the mountain. And there he is. And he slowly turns his head. And everyone's just like, yes! Luke is back! Yes!
Also the look. Like, just how they look at each other. There's just something like knowing in their eyes. Like, they know what's about to happen.
Which does make you think... Rey does have a connection with the Skywalkers. Mm. And what it is, I gotta say, she's his daughter. It's gotta be that. Mm-hmm. And I would take that over being Han and Leia's daughter.
I know a lot of people are complaining, saying like, "Oh, but I mean, Luke is a Jedi, and if you're a hardcore Jedi, you can't participate in anything like that." And it's like,
no,
Padme and Anakin. That's all.
Yeah, and
like maybe that was part of him. Like maybe they'll explain what's going on with that. Like because I feel like they do say that Luke trained Kylo Ren.
Yes, and Kylo Ren fell to the dark side. Well, Ben Solo fell to the dark side and became Kylo Ren, and the rest is history.
I mean, there's got to be some sort of explanation.
And now there's a new emperor, and I think Snoke was his name. I don't know. It's kind of a weird name.
Also, I will say it's kind of nice to see that Kylo Ren has a face that you can attach the mask to.
Yeah, he takes off his mask, and honestly, that was kind of a turnoff for me because it was like Darth Vader. What's underneath that helmet? And in Empire Strikes Back, we get like a hint of what's behind that mask because you see like his face all scarred and burned, and it's like, oh, what's underneath that mask? And we finally get in Return of the Jedi, and that was a nice scene. But with Kylo Ren, he takes off his helmet way too early, and
he's a pretty boy.
Yeah, it's a pretty boy. It's like, oh great, we have another Loki on our hands.
Oh dear God, it's gotta be Loki.
Well, he's not Loki per se, where he's like, I'm so tough and I know it. No,
it's not the charming about it. It's like a tortured person.
There is a little bit of charm, but not to a point where it's like, oh, well, he's a discount Loki.
No,
he's his own bad guy.
There's charm in the fact that you want to hate him.
Yeah, because he does despicable things, like killing an entire village of innocent people.
And of course, the worst sin of them all, killing Han Solo.
Yeah, and that's something we're all going to have to live with, so...
No!
Poor Chewbacca.
But it is like Darth Vader, where you did feel bad for Darth Vader in the end, even though he did kill Obi-Wan. Yeah,
and at the end we do see, like everything all come together, and like Finn tries to use the lightsaber against Kylo Ren, but he fails miserably. But then Rey takes over, and she does superb, and defeats him, but he's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that.
I kind of wish that they did let Finn use that lightsaber, because they used the lightsaber a lot in the promotional, pictures and stuff like that.
Not as much in the prequels.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Red Letter Media, they analyze the hell out of the Star Wars prequels, and they say that the lightsaber has been overused, and they're right. They're kind of right.
No, what I mean to say is that you see Luke's lightsaber with Finn throughout all the promotional pictures, is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so... But the movie is telling you the complete opposite, because the lightsabers don't come until the end, and Kylo Ren still has his own lightsaber, and it's still pretty cool.
It is a cool lightsaber.
Yeah, so... Anything else?
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Great, now I can't watch it. So, that's our spoilers, and once again, it's really good. It's probably... Where does it fare up with the original trilogy is hard to say at the moment. We may have to watch it again to see where it does fare up.
It's, like I said, it's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, the trilogy is just its own big package. You can't expect to get a full enjoyment.
But it failed.
No, the prequels, you could actually watch one movie and then just kind of go... there's a bit more something that solidifies it, and it still fails, but still.
True. So, yeah, that's about it. So, go see it.
See it.
You will see it.
You will see it. Oh, I love the scene where Rey is like, you will unlock me from my chains and leave.
Okay.
You will drop your gun. I will drop my gun.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
You will drop everything you're doing now and see this movie.
And you will enjoy it. And you will buy me popcorn.
This is not the man you're looking for.